When do I plan on buying a truck? To be honest with you, man, I'm light years away from even the thought of purchasing or owning and operating a truck of my own. And I say that as humbly as I possibly can, For those that have been following me, you know that my trucking career has been, up until this point, filled with a lot of inconsistencies. Inconsistencies in job history, inconsistencies in like my plans for trucking, inconsistencies and just a lot of things that would not translate well to the ownership side of a truck. Like, you know what I mean? And I just feel like, do I want to own my own truck? Yeah, not so much a truck, but just a business. And in this industry, the way in owning a business, there's only been so many ways you can do that in this industry. A CDL school, a truck stop, leasing a truck, owning a truck. I'm not going to get into the specifics between those two. I think that's a useless argument that a lot of people participate in, and I'm just not going to be the one that participates in that argument anymore. Leasing a truck, buying a truck, it doesn't matter. It's for the same purpose. You're pretty much doing the same thing. It's just a matter of pride and ego, to me. But, CDL school, owning a truck stop, leasing or owning a truck, and like brokering, or just having a full out authority. Those are some of the few ways that you can own a business in this industry. So I believe the easiest thing to obtain out of those is definitely leasing or owning a truck. All the other ones take a little bit more time, energy, and you need probably a lot more capital up front for those than you would owning a truck. But like I said, I would love to do that, but if I'm being real with myself, I know I'm not ready. If you want me to answer honestly, I think I'm like 2 years away, to be honest. And I say 2 years because I need to just really sit still. You know what I mean? And I'll talk about that in another video that I'm gonna do later on down the line. But I'll just say, to summarize that video I'm gonna do, I'm tired of being inconsistent, man. Like I've been speaking all this year in 2020. My whole thing is just about being consistent. Being consistent with my weight loss, being consistent with my money management, and being consistent with where I work. When I said I want to be here at Great Wide for the next 3 to 5 years, I meant that. Like, that's not just something I'm just saying. That's not just something that, because I've said that before, but it's just different this time, man, because I'm 29, man. You know what I mean? I'll be 30 next year. And at the pace that I'm going, with the way that I'm living my life, I'm a hamster in the wheel right now. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of the rat race. I'm tired of, feeling like I'm going in circles, and I'm putting out all this energy to drive this truck and make this money and do things, and just being in a sense the same spot that I was a year ago. You know what I mean? I may have nicer material things around me, a bigger house, a nice car, rims, a nice TV, surround sound, buying the wife whatever she wants. Yeah, that shit is cool for like the surface level satisfaction of happiness. But when you think about that deep rooted happiness of, the security of knowing that if anything happens, over the next, like, perfect example, this whole coronavirus thing, like, a lot of people are really being screwed over right now because their income has been cut off and they don't have, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of savings stacked up. You know what I mean? And, I want that type of happiness, that type of security, that, for we call it in the hood, that fuck you money. You know what I'm saying? That if shit ever hits the fan with wherever I'm working, I'm like, yo, fuck this. You know what I mean? I got enough bread to sit still for, 3 months to half a year and bounce back. I'm not there right now. You know what I'm saying? And to not be there after 4 years in the trucking industry is nothing short of a train wreck. You know what I mean? Like, That's just a higher expectation that I hold myself to. And that comes from watching other people like owner operators, authority owners, and all that. And it's not to count their pockets, but it's just to, you know, when you get to a point that you've elevated higher than everyone around you, it's time to try to get around some new people. Let's try to continue the evolutionary process of getting better. If not, you'll complacent yourself out, and you'll feel like a loser because, yeah, you doing better than everybody around you, but if you've been doing better than everybody around you for 20 years, what are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? If yeah, you're better than everyone around you, but you've been in the same spot for 20 years, have you really, you know what I'm saying? I just always want to be getting better. You know what I'm saying? And so, not to get too far off on the tangent, as far as the owning and operating of a truck, I just feel like I'm 2 years away. You know, I feel like it's a lot of things that I still need to do in my personal life, as well as the consistency that I need to put together in my trucking life before I even consider ownership. You know what I mean? But I do think that ownership is the only way to go in this world. I do think that, you know, building generational wealth and acquiring assets and investments to pass down to your kids and your kids' kids, I do definitely think that that's something that everyone should try to do in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I think that, you know, that's definitely what I want to do, but I just got to put myself in a better position to do it. You know, I think, you know, YouTube is full of people who have, myself included, have attempted to level up, you know, was leasing, owning, authorities, whatever, and have failed. And I believe that they have failed because they didn't have all their ducks in a row. It's just certain moves when you make in life, you got to be ready. You know what I mean? Like, and I think in trucking, to do a lot of these business moves is so easy to do. Like, it's nothing to go lease a truck. And, you know, honestly, it's easy. As far as the startup, you don't need a lot of money up front. You know what I'm saying? I would, you know, it would be probably recommended to have some money, but you don't technically need to have a lot of money. When I leased my truck with Swift, I had maybe $500 in my name, you know, and got in the truck and started making the money, and just like that. I know people who have walked into leases with no money, and now they're, you know, sitting on 5-6 figure incomes annually. You know what I'm saying? So it's so easy to start doing, but just because it's easy to start doesn't mean it's easy to maintain. And I think that's a harsh lesson that a lot of truck drivers have learned, is that just because, you know, it's easy to get a truck and start being owner operated doesn't mean that it's going to be easy to maintain for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, or however long you choose to do it, whatever the duration of your lease or your finance agreement with the bank is. You know what I mean? And, you know, one of the things that I definitely need to work on as a future owner operator, hopefully, is learning to think further down the road. You know, thinking past this decision or the next decision, or even 5 decisions down. How is this going to affect me 5 years down the road, 10 years? How is this going to affect my son? You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. I know I do. I can't speak for everybody, but I definitely lose sight of that at times, of looking further down and how decisions will affect me. You know what I'm saying, down the line. So, you know, just because it's good right now don't mean it's always going to be good. You feel what I'm saying? So, but that's just a little video I wanted to do, man. Something that's been on my mind, you know, because everyone around me is leveling up, and I'm proud of them. You know, cats out here buying trucks, starting authorities, starting brokerages, you know, just doing things that, you know, would have been blasphemy to hear them say they were going to do 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And cats are out here really doing it. Cats are really, you know, destroying the stigma of what success looks like to a young black brother like me. Because to me, success was always, you know, growing up, finding a job and staying there for 20, 30 years. And having one consistent stream of income, going to work every day, coming home, you know what I'm saying? But now that is being destroyed by people who are starting businesses, creating multiple streams of income, you know what I mean? And just doing things that without a college degree or some type of higher level of education that, you know, before we thought be impossible. I mean, I would never think that 6 figures or, you know, not even 6 figures, but having multiple streams of 5 digits, annually, without some type of education was blasphemy. I didn't think it was possible unless you was doing some type of illegal movement, you know what I mean? And so to actually see, people who look like me doing it and continuously doing it and maintaining it, it's an inspiration, man. And it's always going, again, I'll never count another man's pockets on some jealousy type, trying to, talk shit about type shit. Like, nah, I'll never be on that type of time. But I'll definitely always watch moves being made as far as a motivational type. Like, yo, if he do this, I know I can do this. Or, this could be where I'm at, because a lot of cats who I'm watching, and I guess you could say I look up to in the trucking sense, are, seem like older than 35 for the most part. There's some young guns out here doing it, but the cats that are doing like that big boy, like cats that I believe that could take off 3 to 6 months without no problem, most of them are over 35, over 40, and those are who I'm looking to. I'm not gonna get into the details of specifically who, because I don't want to put them names out and then people just come and say, oh, well, this, you shouldn't listen to them, blah blah blah, and then your view on them may get tainted. So I'm not gonna do that, but just know, I'm watching. I may not always be speaking, but I'm definitely watching, you know what I mean? So salute to all the owner-operators out there, fleet owners, authority owners, brokers, and just, CDL school owners, truck stop owners that's out there doing the damn thing, man. You motivating cats like me, and hopefully I can be a peer of yours one day, you know what I mean? So but as always, stay safe, stay positive, stay productive. God, family, trucking, man. I'll check y'all next video. Go.